What's up, guys? This is Not Your Ordinary Barber with N.Y.O podcast.
Shit, he light one up.
We are at the Battle of the Boroughs here, held by the lineup. I ran into this man once again over at another event. I don't think this guy misses any of them. But I'm here with Miguel, owner, founder of Hevie Enhancements. What's up today, man? How you doing?
Man, shout out to you. Shout out to this podcast. You know, I watched it in some of the developmental stages, and just to see it grow. I mean, yo, we overlooking the city, man. Shout out to Brooklyn. You know, this is, for me, this is special because, again, I'm bringing it back to Brooklyn, Bushwick, 718 Unlimited, Knickerbocker Ave. You know, this is all home for me. So when I travel to these other countries and I come back and I see that barbering is flourishing to the point where we're celebrating on rooftops, and, you know, we bring in all the best barbers from the city together. This is special, man. So shout out to you and the movement you on. You know, seeing you at the shows is special because it just shows growth, it shows movement. And I'm supporting the podcast because this is a platform for us to talk about the things that barbers have questions about, but you don't find on social media, you know?
Most people don't even like to talk about half of it.
Facts.
Now, a lot of people don't know. I had you on the podcast. We did like a stream. That was probably like one of the first ones I did.
Word.
Where you can see the difference between everything that, you know, the growth of everything.
Facts.
But now, what was the show that you were at? Make Your Story, correct?
Yeah, I went to the Bronx. Shout out to Sauce Goya, E-Money, all them guys, Proxima, Shave. You know, they really showed a lot of support. You know, the Bronx, Brooklyn, you know, there's levels of barbers out here. You know, for a $100 haircut to exist, a $10 haircut gotta exist.
Right.
For another service to exist, you know, you gotta find that education and build your service menu. And so I challenge barbers to not just come drink and turn up, but really find those products that affect the service ticket and turn that $10 haircut, $20 haircut into a $30, $40 service by adding products and really finding different dimensions within your craft to grow. So, you know, it's educational, it's fun, it's frustrating, it's everything you want, and then you do it all over again in a whole nother city.
Now, let me ask you a question. This is a question I didn't get to ask you last time, right? Now, I know you do a lot for the industry that a lot of people don't really, well, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to say acknowledge, right? But what is your goal with the industry?
I really just want to, I really understand time, you know, and when we talk about time is something that is so precious that you start to understand the value of your time by changing the price of that haircut and the service time and quality that goes into that. For me as a brand, you know, long after Miguel's gone, I want Hevie to live, just like Burger King, Versace, Louboutin, Prada, Chanel, Mercedes, BMW, you know, these big conglomerate brands that have outlived founder after founder, creating generational wealth. And until you have somebody to pass it to, you can't even start.
No, I get that.
And so that's the key. You know, don't worry about where you are today. Worry about creating those sacrifices for the next generation and then preparing your predecessor to take it to the next level. Because if you're really trying to build generational wealth, then that means the business model as it grows has to even outlive you.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm chasing. I'm chasing my legacy, man. How much money is enough money? Yeah. How many steaks can one eat? How many planes can I sit on? How many different foreigns can I push? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've sat in Lamborghinis. I've sat in some of the most exotic cars, flown to some of the most exotic countries just to fill seats so they could hear me speak. You know, so for me, this is about legacy. I don't worry about cash flow no more. This shit's like the Matrix. I see fucking numbers now. Every conversation you have will result in a mathematical equation if you think about it. Every conversation, you're either dividing, subtracting, multiplying, or figuring out, you know, the strategic strategies that it takes to create and grow anything, whether it be your personal relationships, your business relationships, and then even your personal growth. I say it all the time. I think my growth started the minute I started to grow.
Well,
you know,
let's talk about what made you in the first place. Let's take it back to the very beginning. What made you want to come up with a brand of enhancements and barber products?
Well, I understood the shortfalls in color. You know, all these brands are out there and they all provide a color, but they don't provide a process. They don't provide all the tools you need to be able to plug and play and get right to work. There's so many inconsistencies that it creates an opportunity to charge for an up service because you're not sure if your tools are going to work from one client to the next. Tools clogging, jamming, inconsistencies in color, application process, maintenance, warranty issues. We cover all of that and get you to a point where you feel excited to come to work and see how many times you're going to be able to raise the ticket. And like any good product, you always give the first hit for free. There ain't a crackhead in Brooklyn that didn't get the first hit for free, I promise you.
Yeah, that's true, very true. What's next for Hevie?
The next show, 2 weeks, Northern California, NorCal Barber Expo. And then right after that, we doubling back for Rumble in the Rockies, Colorado. You know, I'm not going to those shows unless they offer education and they allow me, because my education begins where you naturally peak at, and no pun intended, but that's what it is. Our education starts where your razor finishes. And so, you know, for me, the stage is everything. The platform is everything. I can accomplish more in 45 minutes in front of 500 than I can, you know, resetting, you know, like a videotape every 15, 10 minutes at the booth. But I love it. It's all exciting. It's challenging. You know, every show brings different challenges. And I'm just ready to just meet all the challenges and kill you know, the speculation.
Now, talk about that. How do you educate, or how do you show people how to use your product?
I'll be honest with you. It's not even me. You know, when you grow a brand, the brand grows because of the people. It grows because of the voice. You've never heard me speak out on no other brand. You've never heard me, you know, attack anybody personally. And I really don't even teach a lot on the application because I don't want to teach barbers to cut hair. You have to already come with a certain level to even start using color. I think there's a progression in this craft. Just like anything else, you will have malpractice. There's malpractice in medicine. There's malpractice in barbering. There's malpractice in the automotive industry. There's malpractice everywhere. And so how do we mitigate that malpractice? By really putting these service professionals in control and confident, ready to meet the demands of their clientele that require enhancement services. The black and brown community has been doing it forever. We're just revolutionizing it with our system. And so it's you gotta love it and hate it all at the same time, man. It's convincing barbers that are already using a brand why we're better, and then it's convincing that novice barber that he should wait until he's proficient with a straight razor to even use color, because he's ready to come in the game after watching Instagrams and TikToks. And you know, so there's, you know, I get the OGs that, you know, just they don't care for color and they make a very honest living never using color. But you know, I challenge them to step outside the box. You spend enough time in any industry, you only become the best when you really understand how to service all the verticalities in hair. You know, if you're servicing just black hair and I hand you a pair of shears, you can't tell me they're not important. They're not important to you because only you don't service a lot of European clients. But I'll take you overseas, and if you can't use shears and a straight razor, you couldn't make a living barbering in places like Italy, France, Rome, Spain, Mexico, Puerto Rico.
They're very proficient in all that stuff.
Exactly,
and you see it all over social media. Just look it up.
And I'm gonna make a bold statement: Hispanic barbers are the best, not because we've mastered any one verticality. We've grown up with a spectrum of color within our own family that gave us the repetition we needed to be confident to cut straight hair and then go with the waves the next one, and then come back and double back on a hot towel straight razor, and then color and straighten out some long tips, and, you know, just level out some long hair, whatever it takes. You know, the best barbers in the world don't turn down anything that walks through the door, even something they need to repair and charge a repair fee.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
Come on, man. Yeah, bro. Yo, miss me with that shit. When a black client walks in and you walk out and decide to take your lunch break, that's when you show me who the best is. Right. When somebody requires, you know, shear work all the way up through the crown and to even level out and ice pick the tips and no hairline cut, they want that Euro look, sauced out with some styling powder, that's when you show me who the best is. When a kid come in and then his mother tried cutting it and now you gotta fix it, that's who the best is. When it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 54 fucking weekends a fucking year, that's who the best is. Miss me with that nigga that comes in at 2 o'clock, he ready to leave at 5 because he made his 300 real quick. Fuck out of here. The average barber making 100,000 and just figured it out, you know, that's only because these booking platforms told you that. Most motherfuckers standing on business already knew that.
You know, the other thing about that, speaking about that, man, you got a lot of people that talk about how they how they charge $150, $200 a haircut. But if you go on the booking app they use, they're not even booked out half of the time.
And that's because they don't understand product and demand. Barbering and the business of barbering are two conversations most niggas ain't ready for. And I'll tell you this, you don't raise your price until you're so booked that you're receiving referrals, and then the referrals feel the aftermath of that raise. So I don't raise my price every 6 months or every year. The minute you refer me to your boy, he's paying more. And that makes you even feel better as a client. Like, yeah, nigga, I gave you my barber, but you gotta pay more. I told you I was the man.
I was just talking with Monstro. Monstro just said the same thing. Yeah. Monstro was like, yo, I won't. It's not my customers. It's the ones that get referred is the ones I'm charging.
Now, think about this. Think about this. Let me put the science behind this. If a client walks into a barbershop blind and he don't know nobody out of a fucking hole in the wall, and the service price average is about $35 to $40, wouldn't you just pay $45 confidently knowing that you saw the work he did on your boy and you ready to sit in his chair?
100%. Why not?
That's when I raise my price, and I create a whirlwind of prices. One client might be paying $65, $70. One client might be paying $45, $50. But I keep spiraling that price point to the point where my $50, $60 clients got to see me on Monday and Tuesday, because they know unless you ready to pay $1, you ain't seeing me on the weekends. That's how valuable my time is to me. The brand has created less time, and rarity of anything will increase value. Birkin bags, Louboutin shoes. You ready to buy a Lamborghini, you better wait 3 years. And you better pay up front. They want the $2 million up front. Yes, wait 3 years and pay $2 million.
Let's talk about
shout out to 718 Unlimited. We in the building. Yo, this is one of my brothers. This is one of the guys who was watching me fist fight in the barbershops. He has firsthand knowledge about, you know what I'm saying, what happens in Brooklyn when barbering goes wrong.
Yo, tell me a quick story about something like that, man.
Oh, man. Yo, listen, man. Growing up in New York, you got to have thick skin. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know anybody that was already doing $1,000 a week in the 90s charging, I don't know, okay, what would we charge? He had like $10 a haircut. And he got it down so cold, he got his first client to pick him up and his last client to drop him off.
That's crazy.
He's shaking his head. Yo, listen, I watched this dude watch clients going crazy just to get in the chair, and he showed me a lot about what it takes, and all it took was really being available. This guy was available. He taught me a lot about the business, because even though I didn't have the same quality of the haircut, I understood that it took repetition and it took patience and it took guys being able to pull each other in. He could have hogged the answers to the test, but this is one of the guys that, you know what I'm saying, he understood that for everybody needed to win. Yeah. And so when I got to the black shops and the brown shops, and then we had a combination of all the colors in the shop, the diversity brings value. Yeah. When you got 10 barbers chasing the same black buck, every day is like, you don't know what you, that's like hanging a steak at the door when the walk-ins walk in. Now I want Latinos, I want blacks, I want the familiarity of that community to walk in and make a connection just off that appearance.
Facts. All right, guys, we're going to cut it short because I know he's busy over there.
Yeah, yo, I got to get back to work. Yo, shout out to N.Y.O podcast. Shout out to the Lineup Inc. for having me. Right. Shout out to Proxima Shave. Shout out to Make Your Story. Shout out to, just everybody who's been watching the grind. This is a journey, and it's a slow process.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Yo, man, it's dope. Thank you.
We out of here. Yo, shout out to N.Y.O. Shout out to K. Shout out to Brooklyn Bushwick. Shout out to the whole 718 squad, man. I'm home, nigga. Let's get it. Yeah.